the train all alone at dawn, back into the home where I was born. Sun in the sky never raised the night to me. The blood on the tracks and they must be mine.
Look at Mappin, three wide going into school.
And Mappin dance it. Oh, what a move! What a
Do you know what I mean? All my people right here, right now. Do you know what I mean? All my people right here, right now. Do you know what I mean?
puts himself in the history books. He is, without a doubt, the man of F1XL, but now he's a three-time F1XL champion. He's brilliant.
Careful what you believe, so open up your fist, no you won't receive the thoughts and the words of every.
Good evening, everybody, and from Donuts, somehow we started the conversation, or ended the conversation just before the stream on Donuts, where we've got, just from Nuthead doing Donuts, I think that is the best way to start the stream. It's just Donuts. Anyway, moving on, I've got Ollie with me. Ollie, welcome to, I say welcome, you're here every week with me. It's not like it's a new thing, but we're going to go on board with Gunhead as he does his lap. But, I mean, we've really got to touch about from last week's race at France. It was an absolute mammoth of a race that we had.
Yeah, it was great, wasn't it? I mean, it was head to tail the whole race, Gareth, wasn't it? There was hardly any gaps. I think at one point there was between, I think it was second and 15th, there was no more than a second gap between each driver. A manic race where we saw Sinful Chris do well in the pit stop phase and managed to get the win, but there was so much battling going in that Grand Prix, and you know, I'm very glad we could stop so we could have you could relax and cool down after that one in France. It was manic, and I'm sure we'll see the same tonight in Sochi. Hitting this track for some of the drivers, but I'm sure it'll provide a great race for us in commentary and for those who are watching on Twitch.
And now, I know we had a bit of an interesting one at F1XL last season, Swain with a very daring strategy from the pit stop phase after a safety car, staying on those hard compound tyres and taking the victory in the end, which we thought were bad. But if we have got as an enthralling race, I do have popcorn with me just in case.
Brilliant.
I thought I had to have that in on board. Obviously, there's definitely going to be a few of those little gimmicks coming around at the moment. But let's go on to the important thing. It is rather important. F1XL, if you hadn't noticed on Wednesday's show, or if you didn't watch, we now have a merch store. So if you are interested, head over to our Twitch page and Twitter page, and you'll be able to find all the information from there. And we've got 15% off until Tuesday, so the discount runs out very, very soon. So go and have a look at that. As Gunhead, the first time of the day in the Haas, and it's a 131.1, and my memory is awful, so I'm not sure if that's good or not.
No, I'm going to say that because Sanchez has jumped in with a 130.9. It's on the soft tyres though, as many of the drivers minus Pingers and Straka are at the moment, but I think the times will start to tumble once we see some of the quicker guys, and your Swains, your Binaries, Prophet Meaties come through sooner rather than later. But then again, it doesn't look that bad of a time, Gareth, because Lightshock's only done a 31 flat.
We know this early doors though that occasionally the guys like to play games with us. I am waiting for Sloppy to say in the chat that it's going to be raining in the race, and I'm never not going to believe him now, ever since Abu Dhabi. But they're all over the place, and I just want to quickly touch on 8th place man, Jack the Gent London, as he's now known throughout the community. He took a victory at the Phoenix race, whatever race that Roland runs on a Saturday. So it's good to see Nuthead back at the top of the podium top step. So hopefully he can transfer some of that confidence into this race.
Yeah, I mean, confidence breeds success, I think, or maybe it's the other way around. But yeah, if he can get another win today, a win in Excel, that would be great. It would be another different winner. We've got 3 different winners so far in Viper, Swain, and Simple Chris. Whether we see another different winner, we'll have to wait and see. But it's going to be tricky if not anyone to take the win with the likes of Swain, Chris, Prophet, Light Shock, Binary. I mean, Sloppy's in there as well. I think we mentioned earlier in the season, Gareth, how competitive. Last year was competitive, but there's another level of competitiveness to this year, as well as Sloppy's gone pole by 0.5 of a second. It's going to be tricky if he wants to get the win, but we've seen crazier things happen in this league, so we'll have to wait. So 12 minutes left of the session, and Sloppy's on pole, Gareth.
He's looking good. I don't want to say this, but I'm hoping he doesn't turn out to be one of the drivers that flatters to deceive. Jolly, though, in the meantime of all that, did put it on pole, I think, very provisionally, and managing just before Sloppy did it. And now it's a driver that we've kind of saw a resurgence from because of, well, last season he wasn't really about. The first 2 races of the season here, he wasn't here. The first race was very much not his fault, but, well, in a certain degree. But it's going to be interesting to see how that McLaren and Jolly just in general reacts. Obviously a good pole last week, and then as he says that, he invalidates his lap time. But pushing those hards to the limit and unfortunately getting a puncture for him. And it's, what do you think he can produce here in Russia?
I mean, we've already seen how good. I mean, it was his first race last week at France. Did well in qualifying, just didn't really work out from the race. Like you mentioned, got a puncture. And he started where he left off, really, last week in qualifying by getting a provisional pole for a few seconds, and then he's second now. I mean, he's got a great opportunity to show us what he's made of. I mean, you mentioned before I joined, he was a fantastic racer, won plenty of races. I believe he was the champion at one point as well. So he is a quick driver. We haven't really seen the best of him, I don't think. And I'm hoping today we see that, and he could be another person to throw his hat in the ring. I mean, yes, he missed the first 2 races of the season, but Binary missed the first 2 or 3 races last year and still managed to win the title. So if Binary can do it, why can't Jolly do it? So fingers crossed we see a good run from him as the clouds have descended down onto this Grand Prix. Are we going to have any rain here, Gareth?
They say dry race, but I'm not 100% sure on qualifying. It's looking very, very grey out there at the moment. And another driver, just to quickly move on, that missed the first 2 races of the season, but in contrast to his race, was severely better than Jolly's. It's Prophet Media, who's managed to place it 4th and very, very close to Sanchez's time, to 3rd. So very, well, looking like a close grid again, bar Sloppy.
Yeah, Sloppy is almost head and shoulders at the moment. He's just under half a second quicker, than Jolly in second. But there is still a long way to go. 9 minutes left, and the handy thing about this circuit, if you do mess up or you want to get out in time for another lap, there's plenty of places you can cut. And I'm sure we'll talk about it in a bit, about how penalties will count against the drivers. That happened last year, from what I remember, quite a few times. But he's Sloppy again, shown us what he's made of this year. He's done well so far. 1 podium, 7th and a 4th. Sloppy, another one to keep an eye out in this season. So I'm hoping for, like I said, another good race from him. But it's a tricky circuit. I mean, these guys have to negotiate this, and they're the ones who are going to find it a lot more difficult than us in the commentary box. Unless we lose our voices, it's a lot easier for us than them.
Well, the way they're going this season, we could very well lose it by round 7.
Very true.
I've just, interestingly, Binary, I was going to go on board with Binary and do a lap with him, but he invalidated his first lap time, and there's only 8 minutes left of the session, so that's not the best of starts for the Red Bull driver. Let's go on board with last season's winner then, with Master Swain. Obviously a new car for him this season. but his teammate at the moment is quicker than him. So that it doesn't look like it's going all one way for the top drivers at the moment.
Yeah, Master Swain, as he usually goes, Gareth. I mean, if you don't remember last season, there was a huge period of time where he wouldn't actually gain places off the start. He'd always go backwards. Whatever happened with him, with those situations, I don't know. But it seems that might have eradicated itself, because last week, I think before, he gained places from where he started. But Matt's a good driver. We saw in the All-Star race at the end of the year, so end of last season, how well he did, and we saw how he was quite racy last week as well. So Matt's no pushover, and I think I mentioned to yourself early on when we in pre-season, Renault are the team to watch out for, and I think they are, and you know, Swain's got plenty of time left, and I think Swain's more of a racer than a qualifier.
Yeah, I agree with that. As we'll stay on board with him while he completes his lap time. Sanchez, well, actually, Hyper first claimed second off his teammate, but with a 130.789, and then Sanchez manages a 137.18. So, I mean, Sanchez, I said this at the start of the stream, so you're going to find this funny. Sanchez is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get with him, and. Today it looks like we're going to get one of those good races. I mean, we were lucky to see him take top place of the podium in Canada last season, but it's always all over the place, as there goes Sloppy beating his time yet again.
Yeah, he's got 10th quicker, hasn't he, Sloppy? Showing us what he's made of. Since Chris retired from the session, and Chris down in 11th. Jeez, so Chris, early retirement from the Williams driver there. Has he binned it on circuit? Where is he? He's at turn 4. So I'm not sure what's happened to Chris there. But sorry, back to Sanchez. Yeah, no, you're definitely right. It's Sanchez again. He's a great qualifier. He's almost the opposite of Swain. Great qualifier, but it never comes out in the race. And like you mentioned, like a box of chocolates, you don't know which one you're going to get. And that's the same with Sanchez. Unfortunately, it's never the same boring self you get week after week, or exciting in that manner for Sanchez. But I don't know, he's just very inconsistent, Gareth, and I hope this season he can sort of rein that in maybe. But we saw last week he did well in qualifying, and then he dropped back quite quickly. So maybe he gets a little bit too excited at the start of the Grand Prix, and maybe he just needs to rein that in slightly, and we'll see what he's really made of.
Yeah, maybe. And in all of that time, Master Swain then gets the closest to Sloppy we've seen in this session so far. With 5 minutes left remaining, it's Sloppy from Swain from Sanchez. So at the moment, Binary on his outlap. And there goes Prophet Meaty into the wall at the same spot as Sinful Chris retired.
That's not good, is it? From Sloppy. Looks like he's still going. He's all good. Luckily,
Prophet, not Sloppy.
He's the car. The Sloppy or Prophet? Sorry,
Prophet.
I missed that from
Prophet. I thought he said
Prophet,
Sloppy.
okay.
I don't know anymore.
Oh, my bad. Yeah, I mean, I think the drivers, they take so much speed around turn 3, and they come back and they've got to switch it back to the right, and some drivers just take too much speed into them. We've already seen that from Chris retiring early on, and Chris usually a driver who's up top, and going to have to do the alternate strategy like we saw a lot from him at the start of last year. Whether he can do that today, we'll have to wait and see. But Prophet is cutting every corner he can, and he's going to hope to get out one more time, it looks like.
I think he's got enough time to do it. And just checking the chat, Simple Chris saying that this is officially his worst track, and he doesn't think he's ever finished a race here. That bodes well.
Wish him all the best of luck.
Yeah, he's currently 12th, dropped a position from where he retired. So, and with drivers like Binary, Stracker still to set a lap time, I'm sure he is going to drop down a little bit further. But on board with Binary, who's just set a purple Sector 2, he's looking a little bit more like the Binary we know.
Definitely. Yeah, he's been a bit sketchy at the start of the season, isn't he? I mean, really unusual performance from him in Abu Dhabi, where he crashed out of the pits as he puts it into second, less than a tenth behind Sloppy, and is he going to go around again? We'll have to wait and see. So he's obviously quickest in Sector 2 and 3, but Sector 1 he's lacked, but he might have enough time to go around one more time if he's if he's good with his corner cutting, we might be able to see if he go around. But yeah, Binary again said last week is one of his good tracks. So again, showing what he's made of, starting in P2 for now, with 2 minutes 55 left of the session.
I'm not 100% sure what's going on with Sloppy's car, but he's not changing his, he's not changing gear. Oh, he is now. That's. Oh no, he's stuck in 4th. Interesting. Anyway, let's go on board with Madman, who's just about to finish his lap. I'm guessing this would be his final lap, a flyer as well. And, well, contrasting, interests in Red Bull at the moment. Madman only corner cuts his time. That last corner, turn 18, is going to be an absolute, hell of a corner for people not to cut and get penalties at.
Yeah, I mean, we were going to mention at one point, corner cutting at the circuit is a lot of it. Turn 2 and entry of turn 2 and exit of turn 2, turn 4. Where else have we got? Turn 7, turn 13, turn 18. There's loads of places where the drivers can cut. So I think penalties, unfortunately, will play a big part in today's Grand Prix. So I wish the best of luck to the drivers, because it is a bit of a bitch, this circuit, for corner cutting, I'll be honest.
No holding back there. Light Shock is just about to start his second lap. He's only done 2 laps by. That's quite odd from Light Shock, maybe holding a set for the race, but he's out now. Stracker then managing P7. Still waiting to see what the duo McLarens can do, because at qualifying, these two look incredible at the moment.
They do. Last week they were great, and maybe a team that we underestimated, Gareth, early on. I mean, we both mentioned Red Bull, we mentioned Renault, and Mercedes, but McLaren didn't really mentioned at all. And they've got a great opportunity. Last week showed how well they did in qualifying, but we're yet to see an end product from those drivers. So tonight might be that night where they see get a good haul of points for the team in. I forgot where they're based now. In the UK. Woking. I thought it was Woking. I wasn't sure. I didn't want to say it. But anyway, yeah, in Woking.
Jolly then. I'll stick with the McLaren, and he's green in Sector 2, so nothing spectacular, but I'm sure he's going to try his uttermost in the final sector just to try and claim anything. A little bit of a lock-up at turn 15 on the front left there. Binary retired from the session. He's happy with provisional second, but anything still to happen. Jolly then round the final corner and across the line, managing P4 for the McLaren driver, so still plenty of time to be caught. As there goes Stracker on a second lap on the Ferrari's tyre. I don't think that's a wise idea personally, but he's made the decision, and Stracker then dropping to 5th because of Light Shock going 3rd. Final pounce there from Light Shock. Can he keep it? We'll wait and see. Profit Media across the line in 4th. Where's Master Swain? Master Swain has invalidated his lap in qualifying.
Yeah, I think he did it in Sector 2, Gareth, and just hasn't got enough time to go round again. So unfortunately, Swain starts the best of P5, but still plenty of drivers still going round. A big chunk of them coming to the last sector.
And a lot of them right behind. Hypers is one. He doesn't do any better, really. Niels has a poor line as well. And here comes Sanchez then. Sanchez goes 2nd. Well, the chocolate that he's picking today is absolutely incredible. Must be one of the caramel ones.
Definitely agree there.
Is there any
or truffle?
Or truffle. Fair point. Let's go on board with Xbox Nuthead. What can he do? He's, I think, the last driver to actually set a proper lap time, unless Stracker and Jolly decide to do another lap on their tyres. But Nuthead then P14. He's happy with that, and that should be qualifying done and dusted, as Sloppy in all that did go a little bit quicker. So I believe he's gone a 1:30.2 now. Yeah,
he went a 10th quicker than his previous time. Sanchez jumped up and Binary starting in P3, but last year's protagonist, Binary, Light Shock and Master Swain, all there in 3rd, 4th and 6th. Profit Media, another driver we saw a lot last year, doing well in 5th. Stracker doing well as well, Gareth, which we didn't see the best of Stracker at the end of last year, but he's come back with a vengeance here in Sochi, starting in P7. So good job from him.
We're jolly there, retiring from the session. He will be starting P8, but definitely with Straka, it's good to see that he's still got that bit between the teeth, so to speak. But being on 2 lap hold softs to start the race with is very concerning on his front.
Yeah, we're just seen that, and that really might count against him depending on the conditions we have here in Sochi today. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see. And yeah, I'm interested to see what his strategy is compared to some of the other drivers.
Now, as Family Guy leaving the session, unfortunately, but let's go down the grid order then. It's Sloppy in pole with Sanchez alongside him. On the second row, we got Binary and Lightshock. Last season's protagonists, as we know them, are on the second row. In 5th is Prophet Meaty, and Master Swain is in 6th. Stracker in 7th. 8th is Jolly. 9th is Family Guy if he gets back into the session, and 10th is GG Hypers. In 11th place, we've got Niels 998 and F1XL Gunhead in 12th. 13th is TMS Matt, and 14th is Xbox Nuthead. 16th is Sinful Chris, and alongside him will be F1XL Pingers and Hickman just behind in 18th place. 19th is TMS Madman, and then TMG Phoenix, unable to set a lap time, will be starting last. Family Guys rejoin the session, and it's a lot sunnier than it was a minute ago.
Yeah, very nice. It's of course Sochi is a summer resort in southern Russia. Gareth, you can even sunbathe down there when the race happens at the end of autumn. Of course, they're built especially for the Winter Olympics originally, but is also a summer resort in the summer. So it's if you'd like to go for a little Soviet break, I'd highly recommend Sochi.
I'm sure we could
not Soviet anymore. There's normal Russian. The Soviet Union died many years ago.
I was going to say we could just ask the Haas team to give us tickets because they're very Russian right now.
Exactly. Yeah, free tickets, please.
But quickly to the chat again, and Viper, who's not racing this week, has said that it's a perfect quali lap from perfect quali for Sloppy. He has that 1 lap pace to pull away from everyone else. Just needs to make sure that there's no mistakes in the first 2 laps so he can get out the DRS range. I mean, if that, he's got to make sure that is the case. But that long drag down to turn 1, turn 2. It is turn 1. It's the same as Austria turn 2. Damn it. But yeah, I will withhold my anger about it. It's just a slight angle. They even make it more difficult. Sorry.
I completely agree. It's like Baku with their corners coming onto that straight where they're just angular straight bits, I guess. But no, I agree with what Viper said. It's Sloppy needs to get away well here, especially coming down to turn 1, which is tricky. And Sloppy in the past, where we've seen him, Gareth, where he does well, initially, and then he sometimes overworks his tyres, and that causes him to drop back after pit early, and that sort of ruins his chances at getting the win. So it'd be good if he can prove us wrong tonight and show us what he can do it and potentially get the win. But it's a long haul race, and there's a whole pack of quick drivers directly behind him who will not let him breathe whatsoever in this Grand Prix. So it's going to make it hard for him.
Yeah, we will not be easy at all. And, well, I mean, I'm just thinking Binary directly behind could be problematic as well. But we can't really count out Lightshock or Sanchez. Sanchez has done a wonderful job to get second here. But I think he just needs to, well, for Sloppy's sake, he just needs to get going quick. But I don't think they're going to really let him have that option to do that. Let's have a look at just the tyres quickly. So 11th to 13th are on mediums. Nuthead and Pickled Avenger then on the softs, and then everyone else on mediums. Interestingly, Williams, both drivers outside of the top 10, 16th and 17th.
Sorry, guys, I'm trying to get Family Guy back in the session quickly, so we can get him racing.
That's all right. I was just dying from a coughing fit. So, looking back at it, it's Binary starting from third. He's won from third and fourth on the grid last season, and I believe might have even won from sixth as well. But my memory's not that good, unfortunately. Light Shock, high qualifying position, fourth place for him. Looking good there. Family Guy's back in the session, so it means I should have Ollie back.
Yes, I'm back into it. Yeah, no. I mean, Gareth, just about halfway through the lap, who do you fancy for this Grand Prix?
I mean, after last week's showing, I don't have a clue. I'm gonna go with Binary in third place. I think his slipstream out the start through with Sloppy could give him an advantage.
Okay, I'm gonna go with Sloppy for his first win tonight. I think it's gonna be between Sloppy and Sanchez if they can get a good break. But I'd like to see Sloppy get a good win tonight. But the drivers behind him are very good, so it's not going to be made easy for him. So we'll have to wait and see. But they're lining up on the grid, and I'll hand it back to you, Gareth.
Thank you very much, Ollie. And well, it's going to be an interesting one. Safety cars are not uncommon here. We had one last season, which, I mean, could very well have gifted Master Swain the win, or it could have hindered him, but he still managed to go through it. We're not 100% sure, and we're not in season 16, we're in season 17, and we're waiting for the lights and the last drivers to set on board here. They're saying it's a one-stop soft to mediums by the looks of things, but as we wait on board with Binary, as it says Family Guy's on pole, great camera work there by Codemasters. Here comes the lights, 4 lights, 5 lights. And away we go here at Sochi in F1 XL, and it looks like it's a pretty decent start there from Binary. He's got quite high up alongside the AlphaTauri just there. That is Light Shock having an issue, and there's a Haas, and there's 3 cars into the wall at fake turn 1 there, and that has caused a safety car with Binary, I think, managing to catch out Sanchez at that start because of it.
Yeah, I was on board quickly, and then I saw a Haas going sideways in the background. Gunhead looked to go across the front of, I think it may have been Matt, and of course Gunhead in the wall. Niels has been involved in the incident as well. No front wing for Matt. Pickle Avenger's got damage on his front wing of his Racing Point. As Phoenix got damage, I can't see, but Phoenix is up from the back, so good job from him with all that going on. So manic start, and like you mentioned in the intro, Gareth, safety cars are common here, and we've got one within the first lap.
Absolutely nightmarish, and Binary did get that slipstream that I've just seen in the chat that Viper said as well that he would get, and that is perfect. If Sloppy had that advantage, which he did, and it's caught Light Shock out. I mean, Prophet Media's managed to get a move on that Racing Point early on, and Strack has dropped down a few positions. Hyper and Jolly have up a position each, or 2 positions for Hyper's sake. But big winner there is Madman down in 12th. I'm guessing he just was lucky to ignore the melee that was going on behind. And I know Gunhead usually pops into the chat if something does go wrong to let us know what happened. And into the pit then. Ballsy manoeuvre here by Master Swain. And there comes Jolly as well. And a few other drivers are taking note of this. I wonder if they're doing the old go on to hards to the end trick, which has been done before. It's not uncommon. And they're going to go on mediums.
Is he? Swain, it looks... Let me just double check the tyres, because it's always sometimes deceiving. But Swain's on the hards and Jolly's on the mediums. What's that? So we're actually on lap 2, not lap 3. So he's got to do 25 laps on hard tyres. Definitely doable, but not enjoyable. I mean, we saw bold moves from Master Swain last year as Chris has left the session. We'll try and get him back in the session now. But well, It's controversial to start with that crash, and now bold moves from Swain and Jolly. I look forward to this Grand Prix, Gareth.
An Xbox nuthead behind, just to throw it out there, the Mercedes driver has followed the McLaren driver onto a set of medium compound tyres. Now, I wonder if that has got binary light shock, and that those guys up there, Prophet Media as well, and maybe even Sloppy, just thinking, what have we done? Why haven't we followed suit? I mean, it's pretty much the opposite situation Master Swain was in last season, where the safety car came in. The safety car came out at the end, and Swain stuck with his strategy. Now, he's put himself into a perfect position. If another safety car comes out, he can just go onto whatever tyres they want. These guys up there, they have to go onto a set of mediums or hards.
Yeah, no, you're perfectly right. He's given himself options, hasn't he? As well as he's in a very good position, but it's a long road race and nothing is certain. Does anyone else come in, or Sloppy dodges right at the end there, doesn't he? Anyone else follow him through? I can't see anyone, but everyone else seemed to be staying out.
No, I think Sloppy just trying to fake in some other people.
Definitely.
Gunhead does not sound happy. I'm sure we'll get full update of what actually went on in a minute, but I'm guessing there must have been some sort of issue in the Haas car.
Well, from my point of view, Gareth, all I saw was the Haas was going sideways into the wall on the left side, and it ended up only having two wheels on its wagon. So I'm hopefully Gunhead can update us a little bit of what exactly happened with the start, because we were on board with the front runners. So we missed that action at the back. But all the cars are bunched together, minus Matt, who's made a second pit stop onto a set of mediums after he changed onto a soft. So I don't know whether there's a mistake from the Renault driver, but they're all in a big old queue, and we should get racing on lap number 4.
Yeah, we'll wait and see what the fallout from that was. But so down from 14th place, everyone's pitted at least once, and the medium tyres will struggle. They will make it to the end, I think, but they will be close to Jolly territory in France, where the tyre might explode. But we'll wait and see. I don't know. Obviously, these softs are going to go a bit further into the race. There's Sloppy's, Binary, Sanchez, Prophet Media and Light Shock, and the rest of the guys that are on it, with safety car coming in this lap. But they've got to make sure they can get away. If they don't get away, it's... Yeah, they've got to get a move on straight away now, those soft runners, to get Swain and Jolly, nothing, all just out the way completely. So they've got to get a move on once the safety car comes in, and they're quick enough to do it. Whether they can, we'll have to wait and see. But Sloppy will lead us away when he decides to, after the safety car rolls into the pits, and we'll get racing once again here in Russia. When will Sloppy go? Here it's the case, and Binary nearly goes into the back end of him before he actually does pelt away. And he does. I think Sloppy really has made a mistake there. That's just too late to go away, and Binary is going to be all over the back of him. Down into fake turn 1. Sloppy's gone ultra defensive. Now Binary switches to the outside. Will he get a run on him? He does not. So Binary unable to get the move done. And wow, really struggling behind the Haas at the moment.
Yeah, watch out for a move down the inside coming into turn 4. Doesn't choose to do it there, but great defensive work from Sloppy later on the brakes, even though he's on the inside of turn 2. So managing to stay in front, and he's got to be careful of Binary, because Sanchez is looking really racing behind him, and you've got Prophet and Lightshock and Hypers all there together. So any mistake from these top runners and they will lose positions almost instantly. But Sloppy needs to get into rhythm now and try and make these gaps now before the duress is enabled once again. And Sanchez already, Gareth, a 3-second time penalty. I mentioned it in the intro, and already penalties have hit these drivers.
Yeah, we knew it was going to come about at one stage or a matter, and well, Sanchez is the first to be penalised. He's got Prophet Meady having a quick look up the inside as well. He wants to get racing again. I know how desperate he is after missing those first 2 races. But Sloppy then just managing to eke out a little bit of a gap to Binary after getting away with what Viper, and I dare say so myself, said at the restart, a very poor one from the Haas driver. Maybe a little bit of inexperience, as you know, he's, well, 2 seasons ago he was in F2. Now he's leading an F1 race.
Yeah, well, we saw what he could do, a couple of podiums last year in season 16. There's Profit in the back, or not close enough, but he like you said, maybe that inexperience of leading a race, and he almost should have gone earlier on, because Binary was almost glued back in by the time they crossed the line to start lap 4, and had to be a big old defensive job from Sloppy, but doing well at the moment. He's got 6 tenths over Binary, and that is increasing now 7 tenths, so if he can keep this momentum up, he'll be outside the DRS window, which will be key for staying in the lead of this Grand Prix.
Now in the melee, Master Swain and Jolly have swapped positions, so the Renault has dropped down a position from when it all popped off, but because Phoenix had gone into the pits, it didn't look like Swain had dropped a position at all. But here comes Jolly going around the inside there, and now to the outside of 10. Couldn't make the move to stick on the Ferrari, but he'll get the better run through, but he's got to worry about Swain behind. There's battles throughout all of this. I think I need to get my popcorn.
I think you do, Gareth, as it looks like Jolly's going to go around the outside, but he has the inside for turn 13. Where is Swain? Swain, where have you gone? You're just there at the background, but you haven't been able to get through. But so Swain will stay behind, but he's got the inside coming into turn 15. He's gone up the inside. Great move. Where was that? We don't normally see moves coming into that corner, Gareth, and that's Master Swain. Almost into the back end as well, getting past the Ferrari.
Yeah, clinical, and that's what he needs to do to keep up with Jolly, because Jolly, I think, is going to be his benchmarker. Jolly's got those medium compound tyres. Oh no, there goes Xbox Nuthead around into the wall. What has happened to Xbox Nuthead? What? Oh, that is unfortunate. I will have to just quickly head back to that on the other stream. Did he just put down the power too early? Oh, he does. Oh, Nuthead, I feel for you, man. That is unlucky from the Mercedes driver, just looking back at the stream, and he just puts the power down a little bit too much. I don't know if there's front wing damage to him or not, but I'm sure we can go and have a quick look in a moment.
Yeah, real unfortunate for Nuthead. Did well in early on in qualifying and early on in this Grand Prix. We're pitting early to try and outmuster some of the other drivers, but it hasn't worked out, as Hickman has a 3-second time penalty for his troubles as well. So there's 2 drivers already on lap 6 with penalties here in Sochi. But Hypers and Lightshock looks like the closest gap we've got on the circuit at the moment, as Hypers really showing what he's made of in this Grand Prix, and Lightshock looking a little bit vulnerable now. He's outside the DRS window of Puppet Media ahead, and it wouldn't surprise me if Hypers managed to try and pull a move off on the Racing Point coming down to turn 2 on lap 7.
You know what we said about confidence earlier on, and there's a driver, Family Guy, I think, lagging back behind Madman there. I think that's what's really hitting Lightshock at the moment, and I do feel for the Racing Point driver. He knows how quick he is, but he's just getting himself caught in silly little incidents and stuff like that. Now, if he can he just needs one race just to get himself out of that bit of a rut, and he will be back to normal. I think is the best way to describe it. But looking back at it, I don't think these soft runners are pushing away from the rest of them quick enough. As there goes Jolly up the inside of turn 3 on, I think that's Family Guy effectively retiring there.
Yeah, I mean, he's still going, it looks like, but he gave away those positions pretty easy, didn't he? I'm not sure. He is lagging a little bit, so it might be why he's just let them through to avoid any instance between those drivers. But yeah, not great for Family Guy. Not had the best. He goes incredibly wide at turn 7 there. Family Guy really struggling at the moment with lag, I think, Gareth.
That's a shame there. Hyper's then moving up, not really catching Lightshock in the sense. Maybe Lightshock is just holding some of his errs back. We'll wait and see. Pingers and Sinful Chris then battling for P5 with TES Madman as well. And looking at it, now, Viper's said in the chat, as after I've said it, that the slow pit stop here is could hand Jolly and Swain a real trump card, so to speak. But you're looking at Madman, Sinful Chris and Pingers, and they are the best of the rest. They're going to be quicker than Sloppy is at the end.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't even mentioned medium runners. We've all been talking about the guys at the front and the guys who pitted on lap 1. So the guys in the middle, Madman, Chris, Pingers, have got a perfect opportunity as Nuthead Jumps Family Guy looks at the bottom. But yeah, no, you're definitely right. They're not mentioned. Definitely one to keep an eye on near the end of this Grand Prix, because they've got every opportunity to do well here. Just staying on board. Sloppy and Binary sort of running away with us now, Gareth. 1.4 to Sanchez, who's dropping back lap after lap.
Yeah, I think it's just tyre wear and how they handle their tyres compared to everyone else. I'm surprised Prophet Meady hasn't pounced on Sanchez yet. We know that Mercedes is a really quick driver, and he's on general terms about the same pace as Binary, Sloppy, Light Shock. It's just a few incidents that cause him the problems, but he's just not got it in him at the moment.
Yeah, he doesn't, does he? Oh, it's Chris is just cut across, but Chris is down the inside of Madman coming through turn 13. He manages to make his way through, and his teammate Pingers has followed through as well. So Madman losing 2 positions within 2 corners there. So it's really unfortunate for him as Prophet Meady gets a penalty for speeding in the pit lanes. The commentator's curse there for Prophet Meady. We just mentioned how quick he is, and he's already had a penalty for speeding in the pit lane. He's onto the medium tyres early on here, Gareth. Can he get those to the end? He's going to try, isn't he?
Yeah, I think Jolly will. If Jolly can take his to the end, I think he will. But that was a very opportunist move from Sinful Chris, and it left the door open for Madman. And here comes Jolly up on the inside of Madman into turn 1. There's no contact, thankfully. And Jolly actually, I think, backs out in the end, but he's got to worry about Master Swain behind. Where's Prophet Meady? He's 10 seconds behind this group. And to be perfectly honest, Master Swain's tyres they're only ever going to get better on those hards. I don't think they're going to wear out at all. Let's have a quick look up above. There's nothing really happening. Light Shock's dropped away from Sanchez even further, but I think that's partly down to Prophet Meady's pit stop. But it's more of a race of attrition, this one. We're not really used to this in F1XL.
Yeah, it's usually sort of non-stop running out of breath, but these guys are sort of almost relaxed now. But there's so many different strategies at play here, Gareth. So I think they all come together near the end, and we'll see what the drivers do. But it looks like Jolly's looking mega race behind Madman. He's going to have to go up the inside. He's going to have to go around the outside coming into turn 13, but he's already head in the braking zone. That's Jolly up. Who can Master Swain follow through? No, Master Swain's a little bit further behind actually, so he's not going to follow through with Jolly. But Jolly looking ever so racy at the moment, Gareth, and I think we're seeing the real Jolly here tonight.
It's great to see him back in not a dominant fashion, but it's just great to see him back fighting. I've known Jolly for a long, long time, and funnily enough, we were born in the same hospital. Bit of tad bit information there for you that no one needs to know. But Jolly then, now up to 4th. The top runners, bar Sloppy, have pitted. And defensive there from Madman. Will Swain go around the outside of turn 1 into turn 2? Oh, he does! How?
Can you hold it though? Because Madman's trying to get back at him running outside of turn 3, but he doesn't look like he's going to be able to get the Renault. But yeah, a little bit of contact on the exit of turn 2, but he's managed to make his way through. And like I said, clinical move for Swain, and that's really important, because if he was behind him round that corner, round this middle section, he'd lose so much time to Jolly. So luckily, still within a second of the McLaren up ahead. But the guys who are in the lead, so that lead group, Binary, Sanchez, Light Shock, Hypers, have all pitted. And just looking at it, Gareth, Prophet has managed to jump Binary, Sanchez and Light Shock in the pit stop phase by doing the undercut.
Yeah, I wanted to bring that up. That looks like a crucial battle. Prophet Meady 1 lap early to the pit stop to Binary. What does this mean for Sloppy up in 1st place at the moment? He's going to be really I don't want to say in trouble, but he's the one to watch. Hickman and Matt 45 and Pickled Avenger then is a cracking battle going on here. But do I go on board with Jolly as he looks to chase down Pingers? Let's go on board with Jolly. Let's see what the McLaren driver do. He's just absolutely rampant at the moment.
He is, isn't he? He is really quick, Jolly, but can he get Pingers coming down the into turn one? I think he's a little bit too far away, but just want to mention Sloppy. He's managed to get out ahead of Prophet Median Binary, but Binary is up the inside of the Mercedes driver, and he's already got him into the braking zone. Great move from Binary. He's a quick driver already, and he's shown us again what he's made of. But crucially, Sloppy, even though he pitted later than the other drivers, has managed to stay ahead, Gareth. Is he net P1? I don't know, because everyone's on different strategies. Because Swain and Jolly, they're on their own thing. I don't think he's net P1. I'm really not sure.
Your guess is as good as mine at this point. I don't know. Jolly, I think with the pit stops phases, with one pit stop phase done, I would say Jolly is technically net P1. But
okay,
he's struggling. I don't know. We're just going to say it's what it is at the moment. Simple Chris leading the race, and I think he's hoping that a safety car doesn't come out. I think Simple Chris kind of needs Pingers to hold up Jolly a little bit so he can get away. But the shoe on the other foot, Pingers kind of needs Simple Chris to stay in within that 1 second gap so he can use DRS use Simple Chris's DRS to defend from Jolly.
Yeah, exactly. I think he's just about got it, but it depends where the detection zone was, and I have to wait and see to get a better angle, but it doesn't look like he's got... Oh, no, he does have it. No, he's managed to stay ahead of Binary, new faster for lap for 1:33.8, but luckily, Pingers managed to stay ahead for a couple more corners. It looks like, can Joy do anything around turn 3? I think he's too far away at the moment, but Swain's dropped back ever so slightly now, guys. 1.2 split to him as Lightshot jumping ahead of Piper's, it looks like, further down through turn 3 on my timing table, but I just want to stay on board with the fight for the lead. But yeah, Jolly, this is all helping Chris here. Pingers not as quick as Chris, and him delaying Jolly is, I'm sure Chris is happy at that.
Yeah, I think just looking in on it, Jolly needs to make that move soon, but he also needs to, if he is not going to pit again, he needs to start looking after those tyres, and that could be what Swain has done. He could have just dropped back a little bit to conserve his tyres a little. I know he's on the hards, but you don't want to be in that dirty air for too long, especially around this track, which is why I think people have lost it at certain areas. Sorry, I've just completely lost train of thought. I don't know. There's a gap now forming between Madman and Swain, which is a crucial. Actually, I think the crucial one could very well be between Hickman and Sloppy. I think that's the crucial one right now, but that's only because of Hickman hasn't pitted yet, and Hickman's technically the next one to fall through it all.
Yeah, and Sloppy's, there's a bit of contact between Matt and Pickled Avenger, and Sloppy's managed to wake his way through past Pickled Avenger, crucially getting by and getting through this traffic. Oh god, Pickled Avenger almost in the back of the Haas driver coming through turn 4 there, but crucially now, Sloppy's weaving his way through the traffic to try and get that gap to Binary to Prophet Me. Binary actually jumped Prophet we were on board with Jolly. Jolly also got past Pingers, so drivers moving about. When we're not on board with them, annoyingly, we're missing all these overtakes. Binary got past Pickled Avenger as well.
Pickled's really struggling there, and the Prophet's having a look up around the outside. He'll go up the inside from turn 10 there, and Pickled really struggling. I wonder if there's damage to that racing point, or if it's just losing it a bit. And there goes Matt 45 losing a place to Sloppy as well, and the faster guys now setting the tone a little bit on the medium compound tyres. Lightshot gets past Hypers as well. Let's go back on board with Pingers Swain and Jolly then. Well, obviously Jolly taking second place off Pingers, but Swain kind of needs to start making the moves with the drivers behind. Simple Chris in a very similar position to last week, where he needed the drivers behind to battle, but obviously Chris still to pit. He's probably going to be pitting, I want to say lap 20, maybe 20, but I'd say 20 to 22 between that time as Sloppy gets past Hickman. That's the crucial one. He's now got 5.5 seconds to master Swain.
Yeah, Sloppy looking really quick, isn't he? As well as Binary and Profit, all that group that pitted early. The group that pitted from the softs and mediums, all looking really quick now. Like in 5 seconds to master Swain, and if Swain doesn't pit again, he's got a lot of work to do to try and keep these drivers behind him for the rest of the Grand Prix. But Chris, I think he might drop back quite far back now, Gareth, when he does pit, obviously on the soft tyres. Profit Media gets another penalty for his troubles, but Joy looking racy as well. It's difficult because they're all the different strategies, Gareth. They're trying to know when people will pit, who's going to go where. It's a bit of a tricky conundrum we're in here in the commentary box, but Sloppy looking really quick as Swain has got past Pingers as well through turn 13 and 14, but Sloppy and Binary looking ever so quick now, and they're going to be on Swain's tail any minute now.
Yeah, it's not far off it, to be honest, and Profit then gaining a position to Sanchez as Binary also passed Hickman, which is crucial for Binary's chase. He's 1.4 seconds behind Sloppy. He's got the older tyres, and to be honest, are they going to, when they get to Swain, are they going to have the tyre life to really attack him? That's the question we're going to have to be asking. We don't know when Pingers or Simple Chris will pit. That'll be one to watch soon enough anyway. Profit Media then, let's keep on board with him, and he goes up the inside into turn 2, or through turn 1 into turn 2 on the Ferrari driver, and gets the... And that's Madman. Madman's lost it.
Contact with Sloppy coming through turn 2, Gareth. They sort of banged wheels coming through there, and he just went for a little pirouette, it looks like, unfortunately for Madman. It didn't seem like very much contact, really, I'll be honest, and unfortunately he's gone round down to 11th now. It's going to be a long old way back for Madman.
Those tyres would probably end up be screeching. It's probably why, as there goes Sloppy. I think 14 lap olds. I'm just thinking Madman, 14 lap olds mediums, touching any sort of curb at that tyre life is probably not wise at that moment. Let's have a look, see what Sanchez is doing here, all over the back of Hickman. He's going around the outside of 12 and into the inside of 13, and there goes the AlphaTauri past the Ferrari driver, and well, really doing the best he can at the moment. Yeah,
Sandra's doing well, like I mentioned, something we don't know what Sandra's going to give us, but he's doing well, minus penalties he's got at the moment, but getting past Hickman there, who was yet to pit. Here's Matt finally comes into the pits for his third stop of the Grand Prix, and he's going to be quick for these last 11 laps. He's got a lot of work to do as well, Gareth, to try and get back into the point after his pit stop as well.
Yeah, there's a lot of work to do for Matt, and going on to the softs. Was that always his strategy, or did he just see what happened above, or heard about it and saw his tyre data and thought, no, not happening to me? Sloppy then closing in on Pingers, 1.5 seconds to the Williams driver, as we're looking at Sanchez all over the back of the Mercedes of Profit Media. So earlier on we saw Profit in the same situation behind Sanchez.
Yeah, sorry, I'm just trying to figure out who's where at the moment, Gareth. But sorry, I've lost my train of thought completely. I do apologise. Is this just there?
Huh? I'm good. I will move on to Master Swain, who's not able to pull away from Pingers just yet, and he's dropped away from Jolly. 1.8 seconds there as Lightshot gets past Hickman. 3-second time penalty for Madman and Phoenix. That's not good for him at all. And into the pits then goes Pingers, which will release Sloppy.
Sorry, I apologize, Gareth. My controller seemed to have died just then. Ping is finally into the pits on lap 17. When will Chris come in? That's the real question. It's going to be mega quick once he comes out the pits, and he's got a lot of work to do as well, try and get past some of these drivers. But yeah, I mean, can Jolly keep those tyres to the end? I mean, I'm sure he's going to try, but they're going to be screeching.
Yeah, it's not going to be well. And I mean, looking at Swain now, he's only a second ahead of Sloppy. Sloppy's using that tyre life to his advantage at the moment. But I would say maybe lap 8, he would want to be ahead of Sloppy on 8 lap old mediums, or otherwise the degradation is going to be against him and more to Swain's favour. But I'm not really sure about the hards here. I know the hards can go a long time. We saw in a long of seasons, 2016 it might have been, maybe longer, where Nico Rosberg managed to pit on lap 3 and take a hards to the end of the Grand Prix and still take second place. So we'll wait and see that. And Swain seemed to be having issues through 13 and into 14, and Sloppy now right up into his gearbox.
Yeah, Sloppy's got a great chance here to try and get past Swain, who's currently leading the championship as well at the moment. As they come into the final 2 corners, Sloppy will have DRS's Silver Chris finally comes into the pits on end of lap 17. But here we go, Sloppy within 2 or 3 tenths. I haven't got the timing. There we go, 3 tenths behind Master Swain. Will he get him on lap 18? He's in the DRS. Does he go to the left or does he go to the right? He goes to the right, coming down to turn number 2, but he's not close enough to make a move into turn 2, it looks like. Can he do anything around turn 3? He's right at the back. He's going down the inside. Surely not coming into turn 4. Is he going to go up the inside to 4? No, he does not. No, he's not getting past him at the moment, Gareth. And like you mentioned, if Swain can keep him behind him for long enough, Sloppy will be almost too difficult for him to get past.
I nearly missed that. I was leaning my controller against my chest and it changed camera angle. That was a very, very embarrassing moment for me there. I was like, what's going on? Like, I was just looking at the screen thinking, why is it doing it all by itself? Anyway, Swain able to hold off at the moment, but Sloppy, I think maybe if he can I think he wants to reduce the ERS down that back straight and have him at the start-finish straight. That's where he really needs to attack Swain.
Yeah, I mean, look, if you look at Swain's ERS, it's 39-40%, while Sloppy's is down almost, it was in the single digits for a few seconds there, but he's closer once again coming through here, and I'm sure he's going to want to get past him sooner rather than later with Binary not far behind either on the same strategy. But again, Sloppy's got 2 lap fresher tyres than Binary, 1 lap, than Binary. So can he get Swain this time around? They come round in turn 1 for the 90th time in this Grand Prix. DRS is wide open from Sloppy. He looks right, but he's again not close enough to the Renault through towards turn 1. But Swain's made a mistake out of 2, and that's going to allow Sloppy straight up the inside. Can he hang it up the inside? Swain's going to hang it around the outside, but who's going to be better on the brakes? It looks like it's going to be the Haas. He defends the position, and he's through up into P2. And crucially, Swain has not been able to keep him behind, and Sloppy, well, he may run away with this now. He's still got 1 more driver ahead of Jolly. But Jolly's on 16 lap old mediums, Gareth, who, well, when they fall off the cliff pretty soon, I think.
Yeah, it's now all about how Sloppy handles this. He's got through 1 barrier. Can he hold off all the other barriers? He's now got to worry about keeping Swain behind. He's got to worry about Jolly ahead. He's got to keep all the things in decent thought process for the last 9 laps of this Grand Prix, or 8.5 if you want to be pedantic. There goes the fastest lap of the race to TMG Phoenix. So we know he can be pretty quick. It's just when he doesn't get caught in incidents. Sloppy then just 6 tenths in front of Master Swain, and who is also just 6 tenths in front of Binary. But Jolly's still holding a lot of pace at the moment.
Yeah, he's doing really well, isn't he? I'm surprised he is doing well on those medium tyres, and they haven't blown up, really. I mean, we saw last week his tyres blew up, but looks like it's okay for now, and don't think Sloppy's going to get him into turn 1, but one to keep an eye on as Hypers gets past the light shock into the last corner maybe. But Binary not close enough Swain on this lap. Profit Media is in the pits as well, but Byron definitely the one to keep an eye on as Swain tries to defend from him now, and these guys went hammer and tong last year, and they're repeating themselves all over again this year here in Sochi, and whether Byron can get past him and get the final pole position, we'll have to wait and see.
We will wait and see, and in all that, Profit Media has pitted for a set of softs towards the end of the Grand Prix, so he doesn't think his mediums could have taken him to the end, so wow for Jolly for 17 lap holes.
Yeah, Sanchez gets a penalty. I don't know how he's going to do it. I'll be honest. I think they might blow up in dramatic fashion, but we'll have to wait and see. He might know a lot more than we do. They usually do know a lot more than we do in the drivers compared to us in the comms box. But he's doing a good job for now. I'm sure he's easing. I say that he looks up coming into.
Binary's just rear-ended Swain at turn 13 and he's got damage. Swain is now 2 seconds behind Sloppy, and Binary has front right end plate damage. So, sorry to cut off you there, but that is crucial news, and Binary crucially stays out, and I'm saying crucially an awful lot. Take over, Ollie.
Yeah, I saw the end plate fly off at turn 13. But crucial now. I mean, is he going to stay out for another 6 laps, or will he come in? Sanchez is catching. Yes, he's got penalties, but he's catching fairly rapidly, as well as Hyper's further behind, as Lightshock is also there. Could this be the end of Binary? He's trying to try and still get past Swain coming through 3 and 4, and I don't know whether Swain braked too early, Gareth, or maybe it was something else. You were the one on board with him.
I wish I was on board with Binary. It was more of a camera angle at the angle of like a 9, the split angle for 13, and all I saw was Binary just career into the back end of Swain. I hope that didn't sound like I was blaming Binary by saying rear-ended. It was the only way I could describe. It would be interesting to see how the footage of Binary shows that, because it's very odd for drivers of these caliber to do that. I think is the best way to describe that.
Yeah, we don't normally see rear-ending in this league at all. Really, it's don't much any damage. It's side by side, or there's some sort of big incident. So very unusual from Binary. And unfortunately, now he's dropping behind with the lack of front end grip on that Red Bull. And like I said, Sanchez catching pretty quickly now on those tyres behind them, a full front wing, in fact. But back up towards the front 2, it's Sloppy, who's 3/10 behind Jolly. He's on raw medium tyres, 19 laps on the tyres at the moment, and it can probably get past him coming down to turn 1. He's not close enough at the moment. Through 2 they go. Can he do anything through 3? We've seen a few moves through here in the Grand Prix. Sloppy's gaining more and more speed as they come round 3. Can he get him into 4? No, he's not close enough at the moment. So Sloppy trying his best, Gareth, but Joy's doing a great defensive job for now.
Yeah, and crucially as well, for Binary's sake, this Lightshot passing Hyper, which means that the 2 drivers behind Binary are on penalties. So he's got a little bit of breathing room at the moment. Sloppy all over the back of this McLaren, and I mean, even if Jolly does pit now, I wouldn't hesitate to put him in for shout for driver of the day, because he's managing those tyres beautifully at the moment.
Yeah, no, I'd agree. He's put his hat in the ring, really, hasn't he? But Sloppy looks to be got a better run out of 10 and 11. He's up the inside, fairly easy move from the Haas driver, and he's managed to take the lead of this Grand Prix. Started on pole, and he's taking that first position back off the McLaren driver now. He's managed to get back through. It's a good job from Sloppy, but Jolly, if you can get those tyres to the end, that'll be, like you said, Gareth, a fantastic job. And still a long way to go. There's more lockups from him. Gareth, he's not making it easy for himself.
No, he's not. This is really, really crunch time stuff for Jolly. Swain then still in P3, pulling away from Binary, but Binary now has Sanchez for company behind. And Sanchez, while on the same age tyres as Binary, his car is in a lot better nick. Just behind Lightshock Hyper round what I think it could be round 8. These guys are going hammer and tong again, and Lightshock now dropped back to P7, and at this rate it will not look good for Lightshock because he will drop a few positions. Sinful Chris up into P8. This could be his very first finishing at Sinful Chris? No, at Sochi Stadium. But let's go back on board with Jolly because he's still trying to hang with Sloppy at the moment, and wow, I just can't believe he's still there.
Yeah, no, he's doing a fantastic job. I mean, there's still 4 laps left though, Gareth. I mean, he's got a long way to go, and at certain angles it looks like the tyres have gone, but it's just the tyres going over the curbs. But Binary gets a penalty as well, Gareth. So if as he lets Sanchez straight through, actually, I think he knows that Sanchez has got penalty. But Sanchez got 15 seconds of penalty, so Sanchez isn't a real worry, I don't think, at the end of this Grand Prix. I think the worry is Hypers and Lightshock directly behind Binary now.
Yeah, that's a shame for Sanchez because it looked like, he picked the right chocolate, but at the moment those penalties are turning out to be very coffee related right now. Well, coffee related for me. Jolly dropping a bit further back now. He's struggling. Swain struggling on those hards as well. They are old, and now he's being reeled in by Sanchez. Swain will not. Well, he shouldn't worry too much because of those penalties to both Sanchez and Binary behind. But he'll be a bit concerned with Jolly managing the gap ahead.
Yeah, I expected Swain to catch up with Jolly, really, as it progressed. But it doesn't look like he's doing that. Sanchez is catching him, and if anything, Swain's dropping back. So I'm very surprised, at Swain sort of his lack of pace, I guess, unless he's just making sure he's not working his tires too hard, and he'll know Sanchez has got penalties, so he can just let him through and not worry about that at all. I think Swain's only real worry is Hypers behind, who is catching pretty rapidly.
I think he will look at this as well and go at the standings and be quite happy because Sinful Chris down in 8th place as Sanchez doesn't make a move that time. Sloppy is his then nearest rival in 3rd, but you've got to he's going to be thinking about Binary and Lightshock, the guys that were there, and they're 4th and 5th in the constructors in the main title at the moment, and he's only going to increase the points gap to them if he finishes above them. And at the moment, to Binary, it's a 31 point gap between Swain and Binary, so he just needs to keep on increasing that. And the same with Lightshock. I think that's 35, maybe 34 points. So he's got to make sure it does that. Here comes Sanchez. Will he have a look up the inside? He will not. Lap 25. He does not make the move, but will he do what Sloppy did and go up the inside of 3? He does not. Swain has got the traction for the time being, but they are now slowly starting to reel in Jolly. If you were, hypothetically, if you were in Swain's shoes, you knew Sanchez had penalties, would you let Sanchez through and attack Jolly?
Yeah, and that's not going up to 18 seconds. I definitely let him through. Let him try and attack Jolly and see if he can get Jolly to make a mistake, so I as Master Swain gain P2 100%. If anything, now he's just adding extra stress to Swain's situation. The fact that Sanchez is all over his rear end with a lap, or 2.5 laps remaining of this Grand Prix. And Binary is under more stress again from Hypers, who's up the inside coming through turn 11 and 12. Can he hang it round the outside? He's going to try it, but he's not close enough to get through there. Binary really struggling now from Hypers. Struggling because he hasn't got that front wing on that car. But it's really come down to the end here, Gareth, and it's non-stop here. But Swain, 1.5 seconds down to Jolly. Jolly really struggling on those mediums.
Yeah, Jolly's done a phenomenal job at the moment, dropping now. Sinful Chris then, P8, could see himself go P4, maybe P5 with the penalties. This is going to be interesting. Here comes Hypers then on Binary, up into the inside of turn 1. Hypers is there, telling Binary where the hard road is there, and I mean, Sanchez gets past Swain, and I probably should have been on that one because it's a higher position, but Hypers was definitely a more interesting battle, I think. And that's no disrespect to Sanchez or Swain, but we kind of knew it was going to happen.
Yeah, I think, and as well the fact that Sanchez got those penalties almost not doesn't count, but he's going to drop back a ton of positions anyway because of those penalties that he's received over the Grand Prix. But 2.2 Hypers to Massa Swain. I mean, it would be bold if we managed to close that gap in a lap and a half. But what's the gap now to Jolly? It's 0.6 to Sanchez, and it's 1.2 to Swain. Oh, it's going to be close at the end, Gareth, between Massa Swain and Jolly, I think.
Yeah, it's going to be absolutely crazy. There goes Light Shock through on Binary up the inside and showing him the hard road there. And there's Sinful Chris looking to pounce as well. And will he go up the inside into turn 15? He is there. Binary, just be warned, Chris, Binary's got no front wing on this right-hand side there, so be careful. Up the inside then of 16 and through into 17. And Sinful Chris then bagging himself 7th place at the moment. Let's go on board quickly with Sanchez because, well, if these two collide, it changes the grid completely, but I don't think they are. And I think Sanchez then up into P2 provisionally with penalties accounted for, but that slowed down Jolly into turn 1, which means Master Swain is only 1.4 of a second from Jolly, and at the moment those two McLarens in 3rd and 5th respectively.
Yeah, McLaren really showing what they're made of, but Master Swain almost glued to the back of Jolly as they come through turn 4, through 5 they go. More looking up from Jolly. Can he keep all 4 wheels on that wagon? He's got half a lap remaining. Swain's going to have limited opportunity to get by. More yellow flags. Hickman is retired from the session at turn 15. Is that going to cause a safety car? No, it doesn't look like it's going to. But Master Swain's only got limited opportunity here, Gareth, to get by Jolly with 4/10 split them.
Yeah, it's not close. It's not close. It's definitely not close. It's nearly indescribable how close this is. Swain round the outside into 15, and Swain. Oh, Jolly's fighting all he can with tooth and nail. Swain is hanging it in there as well. Give me a proper camera angle. Jolly is not giving up from this fight, and Swain is desperate for the position. He's got the better traction at the moment. All over the back of that McLaren and into turn. Whatever, and I think that's just a bit of afters because of what's happened. Swain is still hanging in there, and Jolly keeps the position for the moment, but that is going to be a big talking point at the end of the race. And I feel so sorry for Sloppy taking his maiden F1 XL victory in F1, and that is how it ends with the battle behind. Light Shock beats Binary to 5th place, and Sinful Chris is in 8th place, so he picked up a penalty somewhere as well.
And breathe.
Where's my popcorn? I said I was going to use the popcorn. I didn't use the popcorn at all. But look
Talking too much for popcorn.
Yeah, you'd kill me if I did. Look at the gap between Jolly and his teammate in 4th. Hypers is 0.1 of a second away from being on the podium for the first time in XL.
Yeah, I thought he was going to get it, but give some credit to Sloppy. Got it on pole and managed to get his first win in F1 XL Tier 1. Great job from him. Driver of the day. I'm sure we can debate who's driver of the day till the cows come home, I think, Gareth. There's quite a few drivers who I think can put the hat in the ring for driver of the day, but it's great to see Sloppy get his first win today in Russia.
Oh, it's incredible. It's been I would even go as far as saying it's been a long time coming for this man. He's done a phenomenal job, and I'm sure he's going to love jumping in on the podium questions at the end of the Grand Prix. There's Sanchez leading the session, and there we go. Sloppy taking his first victory of the season by 9 seconds to Jolly. And my God, the rest of the podium is filled by 0.1 of a second. Jolly and Master Swain glued going across the line with the other McLaren in 4th place, also glued to the back end of that Renault. Light Shock then coming home in 5th place, which is good. Return to form. I think it's a form that he needed in there for Light Shock. Binary then 6th place, and 7th place then falls to Stracker R11. 8th is Sinful Chris in a track that he really doesn't like, so it's a good performance there for the Williams driver. In 9th is Sanchez with his numerous penalties. 10th is another point scoring finish, for TMS Matt. Pinger's then just outside the points with Xbox Nuthead, who with a race of what could have been after his spin on turn 18. Profit Meaty 13th. 14th is TMS Madman, or TES Madman, TMG Phoenix in 15th, and 16th place falls to Pickled Avenger. The non-finishers go to Hickman, Family Guy, Niels, and F1XL Gunhead. Now, I don't know if we've got all the drivers in here yet, but let's have a...
We've only got one.
We've only got one. Oh, goodness.
Only one wants to talk to us. Oh, they're coming in now.
Yes.
They're coming in. They do want to talk. They do want to talk. Well, we'll give another few seconds for Jolly to join us, Gareth. Did we decide on driver of the day, or are we undecided?
This is going to be a big one. I think.
Can we give multiple awards?
Only one, and I think I'm going to give that to. I'm going to give it to Sloppy myself.
Yep, I'm going to agree with you on that statement. And on that note, I think I'll have a chat to Sloppy. Your first win in F1XL Tier 1. How does it feel?
It feels amazing. I've been looking for this win since joined F1 last season, and finally it seems like the hard work that I've been putting in has paid off. And to do it around Russia, where it's not really been a strong track for me in the past until about 2 weeks ago. But yeah, to finally get my first win, it feels amazing.
I can imagine. I mean, talk us through your race a little bit. It wasn't made easy. I mean, you had a frantic start with Binary and Santa behind you, and then you're trying to get away, but then safety car almost banged straight in there, and then you had to defend like mad at the start on the restart. And I mean, I'm trying not to talk. It's your race, not mine. But I mean, it wasn't the easiest of wins, let's say.
Yeah. The first stint definitely was pretty hard, but from the league race around Russia, I kind of had knowledge of what to do with an early safety car around 1-2 and how to control it, and with the pressure behind and everything. So I kind of knew how to control it. I knew what I had to do, and I guess it paid off. I knew that I wanted to go one lap longer. I saw that Binary and someone else that I can't think right now who it was pitted, and I knew that's my lap to push. And it seems to me that the overcut's been working very good for me recently, because in that one lap it changed from P16 to coming out in P9. So and as soon as I saw that, I made the correct decision. And as I came into the pits, I paused and I checked Race Direct to see where everyone else was, and I could see I would just come out ahead of Profit. And in the end I did, and I think that kind of set the race for the rest of it, kind of the tone. I just worked my way through traffic, and it paid off.
Yeah, we could see weaving through that traffic, and it all worked out in the end. And you got the win, so well done on getting the win here in F1XL tonight, and obviously also getting the driver of the day. And unfortunately we can't talk to Jolly, so we're going to talk to Master Swain. We will talk to Master Swain. Swain finished P3, another podium for yourself, and you still hold the lead of the championship coming into at the end of round 4. Interesting strategy, pitting on lap 1 for the hards and then staying on them. What was the mindset for that one?
Well, I'd seen it in a league race prior to this. One of the drivers I was watching did it, and it worked quite well for them. And did a party with Viper as well, and he told me to pit for hards as well. So I thought I'll go for it. Why not? I don't know what happened tonight. I was feeling good coming into the race, but I just couldn't get into a rhythm at all. And that's quite crucial for me. And I just didn't have the pace tonight, so I thought I'd try an alternate strategy. Saw nobody pitted in front of me, which I thought, okay, this is interesting. It's be interesting to see what happens. And then that was it basically.
I mean, it worked out in the end, and it got very frantic at the end with Jolly on that last lap.
Yeah, frantic is a good way to put it. He forced me wide at the chicane, so I thought I'd return the favour at the second to last corner, and he started making up his own track. So that was interesting. But I can't complain really in the MP3. Not too bad.
Yeah, and looking at next week, we're off to Japan next week. Driver's favourite, is it, classic race on the F1 calendar? Is it one of your better tracks, or is it something you've got to practice over the next week or so?
Oh, I love Japan. It's a classic old school circuit. So I'll be looking to be a bit more on the pace there. And congrats to Sloppy on his first win. He really deserved it.
Well, thank you for that, Sway, and then hand it back to Gareth to run off the stream.
Congratulations to all of our podium finishers and all the drivers that had finished. And I don't know why I said drivers in such a weird way. Apologies, guys. But yeah, what an incredible race here we had. It's got France on the screen. That's really put me off in Russia. And, well, Ollie, I think I'm going to ask final words from you, because I haven't really asked that before, I don't think, not since last season. And it's been a really indifferent race for us here. Usually we're full of action, but like I said, I think in the race it was more of a race of attrition, but it definitely ended with a bang.
It did, and it always ends with a bang in these F1 XL races, regardless if it was a race where we've running out of breath, or it was a race of attrition like you mentioned in today's race. It was another fantastic race, non-stop, and it's great to see 4 races in. We've got 4 different winners, so keep it coming, guys, and we'll try and keep on commentating if we can.
Fantastic. It is a race that we see Swain extend his lead at the top of the championship. It did help with Binary and Slight Shock swapping around, and Sinful Chris will get P5 because of the timing glitch as well, which will drop them back a little bit further. So can we really say that Sloppy could be the main title rival to Swain this season? Well, there's plenty of races left to go, and I'm sure it's a question we'll come back to at the end of the season. But from now, from everyone here at F1XL, we hope you have a good evening, and we'll catch you in the next one.